Saturday was a big addition for us, and glad to see the finish line.
Is this kind of the end of the jump season as well, because they can't really run the hunt meets?
There are some meets on the schedule in Maryland and in Virginia.
Oh,
there
okay.
are some meets.
Good.
There aren't going to be any stakes this fall.
Nothing at Belmont. We're not going to be at
Nothing
Belmont?
at Belmont this year.
So,
I think the decision makers decided not to do the jumps this fall, unfortunately. So you won't get to see Joe
or you
or me.
I know.
Right?
It's been a pleasure.
Fun.
I've missed Joe, but it's been nice having you on. We appreciate your insights.
I've enjoyed it. It's been great. I was kind of super bummed out last week when it was rained out. I was like, we didn't even get to say a proper goodbye.
I know. Well, we're glad to have you, and we appreciate everything the Saratoga Special and this horse racing does for us. And even though there hasn't been on track, you guys have been online, and you did. How many? You did 2 a week?
So we did 2 a week. We did Wednesdays and Saturdays, and then the final one will be our 17th edition of the season. So we did one on Thursday. We had an internet/power issue down in Maryland, which
so
feels like 5 years ago.
For that.
I do blame Joe for that. Yeah.
I would too. And then we were talking about the Derby. It seems like the Derby was about 5 years ago as well.
Oof.
And I think with Tisdalaw losing, it took a little bit of the air out of the balloon.
It did.
In general.
Yeah. Obviously people were disappointed that he didn't win. He ran his race. I mean, like you said, I think the pace maybe could have been a little bit different with some a little bit more pressure on Authentic maybe earlier.
Well,
maybe
the
Manny
pace
wouldn't
was
have had
contentious,
to. Yeah.
but it just that he became the horse who had to hunt.
Right.
Because he didn't want to let Authentic get away, and Manny was right to do that. But
yeah.
Anyway, since we have 14, we unfortunately have to get to work here and discuss today's card. The first race, we'll take a look at Iranistan, and Iranistan won his last start for trainer Jonathan Shepard. Nice to see Jonathan get a couple wins at the meet and get his streak back together. Because, Dale Romans is not that far away. He's only 18 years away from tying Jonathan's 40-year record.
That's both are impressive numbers as far as I'm concerned. I mean,
incredible. Dale's won a race here 29 straight years.
Yeah, I saw him the day that he won, and he was
on
his way out the door.
He was heading back to the North Pole after after making a trip down.
But Iranistan, I think, is the horse to beat in here. He's comes off a win. Got a little bit of extra time to maybe recover from that win. He's coming out of the August 13th race, which is at this same level, kind of this handicap level. He's going to pick up a little bit of weight. He picks up 5 pounds, so he goes to the 158, which is a pretty heavy impost for him. But he won it at the 153 last time the right way, did it the way he should, and he's a horse that they had really high hopes on for back in 2018. Ran the Turf Riders Cup, some major stakes. Last year is kind of like a lost year. He just kind of never really found his form. And then even this year, his first race, he kind of pulls up in there, and I'm like, poor Iranistan. But then last time, he just sort of shows he's back. So, credit to Jonathan and his team for getting him back and getting him back in the winner's circle.
And it's interesting, the horse you picked second bodes well. Mm-hmm. Do you think he'll be forwardly placed? Because you've essentially got two horses. Iranistan runs his race. He's a speed horse. He's going to be in front. Is it possible? I mean, Bodewell's not necessarily a big speed type, though he was in front last time when he lost to the talented Snap Decision. Yeah,
I'm hoping that maybe the longer distance, maybe he'll settle a little bit more. So maybe he's not, battling for the lead if Bodewell is indeed the one to win. I do like the spacing from his last race, July 22nd to now, so he'll be pretty fresh. Kind of Leslie Young did the same thing with the horse that won the New York Turf Riders Cup. Had a little bit of a break, didn't run in the race, kind of in the middle of the meet, the Smithwick, came back and won the Turf Riders. Maybe similar setup with this horse. He comes out of a good race, Snap Decision, Galway Kid. Two really good horses, and that's in that novice stakes, the Kaiser.
Snap Decision's next race was unbelievable.
I mean, he's just amazing. Yeah,
incredible.
And like we talked about, no stakes this year, unfortunately, with the fall kind of being so many changes. Jack Fisher basically pulled the shoes off his horses and turned them out, so they're done for the year. So all his good horses are pretty much on the shelf now until
I'll
next
miss
spring.
Snap Decision.
I know. It'd be a bummer that he couldn't run again.
I always liked him when Shug had him, and he's good. You want to know something funny about Snap Decision? When Bricks and Mortar won his non-winners of one at Belmont, that was Belmont Stakes weekend a few years ago. Snap Decision, who finished third, was the favorite.
Oh, yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
Actually,
yeah,
kind of funny.
Snap Decision, like breaking the rules, like who runs today, right? I mean, it's kind of maybe the same age, maybe similar crop, 6-year-olds, maybe 5-year-olds.
Yeah. Well, what was Bricks? 5 last year.
Yeah.
So he's the same age as Bricks. So he's 6. Yeah. He's been, to me, he's one of the coolest horses of the entire meet.
Very cool. Yeah. I mean, and amazing. And I've talked to Jose Ortiz about him, and he likes watching his races, and he's like, every time he runs, I watch him.
No, it's great.
It's been fun, yeah.
Well, Rajiv Mirage was suggesting to both Irad and Jose on Twitter that they should ride in a jump race. And as I said to Jose, you know, Rajiv has such a long, storied career as a steeplechase rider that he could really help them out.
There you go. Well, I mean, it's a tight jockeys race. It might need an extra mount.
We're tied,
right?
57. Who's going to win? Who are you taking? I have a bet with Anthony, though.
Jose.
I took Jose. I got 6-5 on it.
I have
6
Jose.
lunches to 5.
I have Jose.
Okay. It's tough. You know, looking through the race today, it looks very close.
It does.
Tom, we appreciate all your help during the meet.
It's been fun.
It's been great. It's been great
Thank
having
you
you
for
here.
having
A fine addition and helpful in the steeplechase races. Anthony Stabile also helpful. He will be back in just a moment to cover the rest of today's card.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to Talking Horses, presented by Saratoga Water. He's the big A, Anthony Stabile. He's here. Are you ready to rock and roll for 13?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Race number 2. Let's take a look at Build to Suit, winning the Hudson last year. And Build to Suit is making his second start of 2020. He was not able to get the mile. He did not run badly, though, in the commentator. I think the discussion here, and it's interesting, obviously Todd Pletcher now with a 5-win lead in the trainer's race. It's effectively over. Chad Brown has a lot of horses today. It's certainly mathematically possible. It's not like he's never had a huge day, but it seems pretty hard. But this one kicks it off, right? I mean, if Chad wins, you can say, well, he's still alive. If Todd Pletcher wins and it's 6, you could almost say it's officially over. For what it's worth, first time for a tag in the dirt. Chad's got tremendous numbers. They're short-priced horses, but they win, Anthony. How worry you, though, that Todd's horse, and we'll show a replay of him next, how worry are you that he has a big tactical advantage over Fort Worth?
That's, I think, the biggest concern, that Fort Worth is just going to be
lone speed.
A lot. Yeah, he's just going to be, he should be on the front end.
That's why I picked him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not, I don't, we'll show Fort Worth's last race. And I'll say something about Fort Worth's last race. I know the figure didn't come back that high at 87. Well, I mean, Gandy Dancing improved 5 points the next time. To be fair, Harris Bay improved only 1 point the next time, but he keeps getting left as well. This is a pretty good horse, Fort Worth.
You will call this voodoo. The only knock I would have on the fact that he's going to be on the lead today is that he has never been on the lead. And I know that he's probably going to be able to go slower on the lead than he has been chasing. But sometimes it's running style. Sometimes horses just don't like having to do all of the heavy lifting on the front end, even if it's not that heavy.
What heavy lifting is he doing?
Even if it's not that heavy.
You mean
lifting.
like My Heart Belongs to Daddy?
Andy, it's a little different.
No, it isn't.
Isn't it?
No, it isn't.
Going 25, 50 is not a little different?
I'll just make it simple. I don't agree with you.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Build-A-Suit's best races are better than Fort Worth's. But Build-A-Suit is running a tag.
That can't be right? Fort Worth has to be
I
the
think Fort
favorite.
Worth's
No?
going to be favored in here
Yeah.
because he has tactical edge. You almost wish they were tied going into this the way Irad and Jose are, because this would be a huge battle. But obviously Todd has, seized a huge lead yesterday's card and feels like it's probably over. We'll see what happens in race number 2. I can't
Never
see
over.
the others.
Andy, it's never over.
We also remind people we don't have the scratches yet, so obviously
Correct.
we can talk about horses that are scratched. We've got to do what we got to do. There's no way we can do it and wait, or we'd be talking about these races while they're running the first race. Race number 3 on the turf, mile 16th. And this race has been moved to the inner turf course, and the inner turf course, the rails are down as well at 0. Chad Brown has a very strong hand in here. You went with the 9 Domain Expertise, the Kitten's Joy on top.
I did. Half to Sombaye.
Oh, you did your work
turned into
today,
a stakes
like
winner.
yesterday.
Yes, it's half to a stakes winner. Who was by Into Mischief. Now this one's by Kitten's Joy. A lot more turf influence for Domain Expertise.
Make a great point.
Gets Joel Rosario. I went to that one. Andy went to Editor at Large.
I went to Editor at Large, the Loop de Vega. It seems like after Newspaper Record, those Loop de Vegas are really in style. Seeing more Loop de Vegas.
As they should be.
Yes, I mean, well, we saw one win at Churchill Downs for
Yep.
Brad Cox last week, and I think the one that
that one that won for Brad Cox was. They knew about that one. That horse just galloped.
Yeah, it wasn't a fast race.
Right to the, I know, but she went to the lead. She just kept going.
Was the horse that Klarvich won with earlier in the meet
Was
that a Loop de Vega?
maybe.
I can't remember.
I can't remember the name. That's the Saturday the 14th, the 15th, I think.
Anyway, I've got them 1, 2 in here. How about some others? How about Ready Seeker for Todd Pletcher? It's more of a dirt family, the Title Seeker family, but there is enough turf, and the more than Readies all feel like they can
They
handle
feel
it.
like they all turf, right?
What a
Yeah.
sire he's turned into.
He's unbelievable. I believe they just stopped shuttling him. Bob Edwards and I were talking about this yesterday. I believe they just stopped shuttling more than Ready. Yeah, Title Seeker's there's a lot of dirt in that family. This horse actually has been working well out of the gate on the dirt. Todd's other one, Blue Kentucky Girl. We remember Laura Michelle, 4 for 17. She won the P.G. Johnson up here, so that lets you know that this,
right?
Yeah, that lets you know that she's by a mare that was a win early type.
Carpe Diem, though, has not been a particularly effective turf sire. That's the reason I didn't have that horse.
I'm always very curious as to those matings.
One of only 3 sires in here that were trained by Todd Pletcher. And that includes, I think, a couple horses that have European sires
Exactly,
here as
right.
well.
Loop de Vega, Dandy
I have
Man.
Serene, who's a half to Indochine, who did win on the turf, but obviously has not proven to be that strong. We'll see how things play out on race number 3. Race number 4. I guess it's not inconceivable that Chad Brown wins races 2, 3, and 4.
It is not.
Because he has the heavy favorite Road to Meath. We'll take a look running on the turf last time. And I'm kind of with you, where I almost took a shot with Nick Zito's horse as well. I let you have this one, and I think we needed to both take the same price horse in race number 4. Road to Meath is the kind of horse that looks better on paper than he is. And remember, we had this argument about him last time when you liked him, and I said, he might win, but he's not that good. And he has found the right field, though.
Yeah, I was able to kind of pick 4, pick 5, bail myself out that day.
You thought Mandate was interesting, actually. That's right. I did not.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with, I think, Road to Meath is going to take a very short price. 2 problems. And he's probably a better turf horse. That's not to say his dirt races don't get it done in here.
I agree.
Because they do.
Some of them do.
Some of them do.
They're not all that good.
I just wanted a horse that was going to be 2, 3 times the price. Ravinio's getting back to a fast track for the first time since May when he broke his maiden going a flat mile. Now, this is 7 furlongs, but it's back to the 1 turn. Would love to see my man Nick Zito grab one before.
Nick's got a big shot in the next race as well, and I agree with you about Ravinio. As you say, getting back to dry races, he picks up Joel Rosario. I mean, he rode him on the turf last time. And what about Larceny on the rail? I don't think Larceny's impossible in this race. I'd like to see Joseph Lee, the former assistant to Kieran McLaughlin, get a win. His last race isn't that bad. He was oddly involved in the pace and didn't run that badly in finishing 3rd, running the best Beyer speed figure or second best he's ever run. I mean, a figure of around the high 60s may very well win this race.
Yeah. My little fuzzy in here was the 4, who I know had a perfect setup when the pace collapsed back at Aqueduct in the slot. But Source made up a lot of ground. I know he was aided by the pace.
I believe one of the 2 people up here picked and bet him that day.
Congratulations, Andy. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? I'm picking him today.
Didn't I like it? I saw this horse and I felt like I got lucky with this horse.
I think you did. This was New Year's Eve, right?
Yeah, I think I was watching the race on the subway on the way home.
You were. You texted me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were. I got stuck in the elevator that day. That's right. I got stuck in the elevator that day. Wow.
I don't know how he got out, to be honest with you. Thank God he did. What would we have
I
done?
wasn't fitting through that
What would
hole in
we
the
have done
ceiling.
without
I
Anthony
wasn't
this
fitting
summer?
through the hole in the ceiling, I can tell you that. That wasn't happening.
He said it, not me. We're using those fingers of yours to get through there. Race number 5, going a mile and an eighth. I want to show the Candy Tycoon Hunt the Front race because Hunt the Front, just misses second, sort of making the big run at the back of the pack. What I want to talk about more about is Candy Tycoon. I'm not saying he can't win. Todd's putting the blinkers on. It feels like he's frustrated, too, with this horse. The thing about Candy Tycoon is if you look at his record, he actually looks pretty good. He's been second in the Fountain of Youth. He got second in that race to Rushy, who won the Pat Day Mile. In none of the races he's ever run in did he do any running.
We talked about this the last time.
Getting perfect trips, and like that race, he didn't do any running at all and just sort of fell into second. A good ride by John Velasquez, saving ground doing that. I know he's got Luis Saez on him today, he's the magic man of this meet. It's amazing how horses are running for him. He can win this race. I picked him second. But he gets bet, and he just isn't very good.
Source started his career with a pair of blinkers, and they took him off right away.
Well, he's a morning glory. Obviously, this horse was highly touted.
Highly
last year,
touted,
and
remember?
he's just been a
8
real
to 5, 3 to
real
4 to
money
5,
burner.
3 to 5.
Horse also 1 to 5.
1 to 5. Got beat at 1. That's right. That Tiz ride time came and got him. Wow. Yeah, and then he wins next time out, and all the people that bet him at prohibitive favoritism probably jumped off at 880.
How's Yankee Division going to win this race? Your horse.
I'm just hoping he. See you later.
Yeah, so you haven't learned. I know that's your first talking horse in Saratoga, but those outside posts at Saratoga mile and eighth, it's tough to clear, right? You do know that, right?
I do. But does he have a lot to clear in here?
He's got to maybe clear this horse. I don't think Irad's going to be too patient with per capita, and we'll talk about him. What about Heirloom Kitten? Even Eric Cancell's got an Heirloom Kitten aggressively the lead inside of him. You think Eric's going to abandon those tactics that have worked?
Well, the race 2 back in the
7
slot.
is technically faster, but
Yeah.
but
And Jose knows that, and Jose is going to give this horse the best chance to win by just going front. Here's Per Capita, who broke the maiden at Gulfstream, got disqualified, went to Churchill, and won right back. You don't see that too often. I got to tell you something, though. This race came back with a big figure. I'm not too impressed with this race.
This race, that figure does not hold up to
No
scrutiny.
shot, right?
We have it. I'm going to read scratches to people so they can at least do that. So hang on. Race number 1, the 4 is scratched. Race number 2, I think Bill DeSuit is scratched.
Number 2?
Yes. Bill DeSuit is scratched out of race number 2.
Okay.
So Fort Worth becomes an overwhelming favorite. Race number 3, the 3 threat level Midnight is scratched from Jonathan Thomas. There are no scratches in the 4th and 5th. Race number 6, the 2 and 3 are scratched in race number 6. You knew Winwood Pride was coming out. It ran the other day. And the 3... Chateau, which does change that race quite a bit, his speed coming out. So we'll talk about that in a moment. Race number 8, the 3, Rose's Vision, who was going to be a long shot in the Lure, came out. Go to race number 10. The Binkster is out for our man Ray Handel, another scratch that will change that race. Race number 11, the MTO, no Lime. It's no longer Lee Einseidler. Race number 12, the Plain One, Ever Dangerous, appears to be out, as well as the number 10 horse, who's an MTO, Spiteful Kitten. No scratch in the 13th. The Hopeful, the Run Happy Hopeful. Race number 14, the 1, Uncle Ned is out. The 4, John Want Revenge, won't be getting it. The 6, Parson, is also out. And the 12 and 14, Gunman means Seize the Hay, gets in. So 1, 4, 6, 12, 14 in race number 14. Johnny and I will go over those after the card. Let's go to this race. Let's finish. I agree with you on per capita. That figure does not hold up to scrutiny. I also wonder if he's really going to be more effective going a mile and an eighth. Obviously, he's not impossible. He's a player towards the front end. I think there's going to be enough speed for air onto the front today. Because there really wasn't much speed last time out. Leader Beast Life won that race. I think Hunt the Front's going to get it done today. He's going to get that win for our man Nick Zito on closing day. Okay. I really like Hunt the Front. I think he's a nice horse, Hunt the Front. I think today he's going to pick him up. And I know you're rooting for it.
Of course.
Even though you picked him 4th.
I'll use him. I'll definitely use him.
How
because
can we not?
he might, like you said, if any one of Heirloom Kitten or Per Capita try and go with Yankee Division or vice versa. There could be some pace on it. Yeah.
So race number 6, Chateau is out, so we don't need to see that replay. Steve, thank you. So how does this change the race? Well, Shamrock obviously has speed.
Topper T showed a lot of speed last time.
Yeah, but he's probably not going to show it again.
I hope not. I picked him.
You like him or Clench? The pace scenario is obviously significantly different in this race, and it's going to hurt my top choice, Life in Shambles, who I was hoping was going to take advantage of a very strong pace. I'm going to have to hope that gets decent pace. Rob Atris's horses off of claims have been running extremely well, particularly this meet.
Got the job done with Battle Station yesterday.
It cost me a fortune.
That was terrible.
Cost me a fortune.
I
made
mean,
my biggest bet of the meet
on
on
your boy Pulsate.
On Pulsate. And Luis gave
that
me
was
a
a
great
good ride by Kendrick. Saved all the ground. Yep, tipped, got the money. It was a good ride.
So I'm going to hope off the claim for Rob Atris there's enough pace, but without Chateau in here, the pace scenario.
Well, you got Shamrock, you got Aristocratic.
No,
you got
Aristocratic on the outside as well.
Yeah, you got plenty of pace.
Obviously helps the chance of Aristocratic in here as well off the claim for Michelle Nevin.
Yeah. And Aristocratic's probably the horse that helps the most.
Yep.
And the horse you'd want to use in your multi-race wages. I don't know if I trust him to win this, but he's certainly a horse that you would want to include. You don't want to let him beat you. I don't know if you want to play him to win on United Bets account at 3-1, but I certainly want to use him in your.
But Luis Saez is not going to let him get away with number 4 Shamrock.
Right.
You know, Luis has not won all these races by being unaggressive.
Right.
So Topper T, talk about Topper T.
Yeah, Topper T on the lead last time. There's enough speed in here for him today to not be on the lead. He cuts back to 6. I just thought he would get, like Life in Shambles, he'd get a little pace to run at today. He'd go back to his usual running style of making a one run and trying to get there. And I wanted to use the two of them mostly.
I agree with you on Topper T. I agree totally. I hate entries. People are going to bet Clench. I don't like Clench at all.
I don't either.
I don't like Clench. And the fact that he's in there, instead of getting the 8 to 10 to 1 you would have gotten on Topper T, you're going to get 4 to 1.
Kind of like yesterday, right, with the Jorge Abreu Klarovich horse. You probably would have got 4 or 5 to 1 on him without the Chad horse.
Correct.
He wins and you get 3 to 5.
Race number 7 as we move along. We'll take a look at the one turf horse that's run reasonably well, and that's the number 6, Mrs. Frankel. I have a hard time believing that there aren't better horses in here, and the race is Simply Ravishing. Now, Simply Ravishing might turn out to be one of the best 2-year-old fillies in the country based on her win in the off-the-turf P.D. Johnson, but not in the turf. And I just didn't think this was a very good race. By the way, big figure, I think an 81 or 82 figure for that winner of the Spinaway. That was something.
That was something.
That horse ran, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just not a big fan of this
horse.
horse.
A slow race. I mean,
is it me or the Frankels come to America? There's only that one decent one for Chad. Rubelinda?
Yeah, Rubelinda.
In general, the Frankels have not been that good. I took Freedom of the Press. I know there's 2 Chad Browns in here.
There's no rabbits allowed in the stud barn, Andy.
What's that?
There's no rabbits allowed in the stud barn. He never left the yard without Bullet Train as his rabbit.
Yeah, but he also never left the racetrack without winning.
That's true, too.
I hear Julie Bird maybe Julie Bird's the better one of the two. Maybe I could have gone 8-5. I put Chad's horses 1-2, figuring one of them would run. I don't know.
I have seen 2 M. Shawishes run.
Mishawish.
Well, I think they're
really?
marketing as M. Shawish, yeah. And they've both run well. One won, and another one ran 2nd or 3rd in the Midwest. I can't recall. I don't know. Took a little shot with this one.
And is it M?
It's M. Shawish. That's what I was told.
Okay.
But
wasn't he taken down in a very lame DQ here on closing day for Todd?
I believe he was.
In a turf race. It was a terrible takedown.
He's also one of the only horses from America to ever go over to Dubai and actually run on the turf. I think he ran 3rd in one of those $6 million.
He won the week running of the Don the year I was down there in 2016.
We always send the turf horses over there. They don't run 2 steps. He's the only horse that I think ever hit the board in one of those turf races.
All right. What else do we got in here quickly? We've got the horse in the rail. No Ordinary Time is a half to current.
Yep.
Not a lot of turf. Otherwise, actually, the pedigree horse in this race is the 2 Love Struck, who's a half to not only Scat Daddy, but Antipathy as well. But they're more, Scat Daddy's been an effective turf sire, but it's more of a dirt family. And I thought it was a negative that Mott was running this horse on the turf.
You start to look at this. She's now a 21-year-old mare. There was a lot of gaps. I think there's only 5 foals or 6 foals.
Yeah.
So.
That always scares me as well.
Look, when 2 of them are multiple Grade 1 winners, I guess she's a pretty good brood man.
Scat Daddy was a very nice racehorse, but he was a better sire.
Yep.
He's a big loss when he died. He was incredible, winning here, winning in Europe.
That was right when Justify was going for the Triple Crown.
Race number 8 is the Lure at 1 1/16. We'll get to Largent.
I believe so,
Eventually,
yeah.
we'll get to him, the third horse. Breaking the rules, we'll show him beating Devamani. I know that Largent has a pace advantage, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Breaking the rules is going to be close to him. I just think he's good breaking the rules.
Now, you and I have talked about this off air a few times.
We have. We actually hate each other. We never talk off air.
That's true. Not over Mai Tais last night because they don't flame anymore, but
I don't drink Mai Tais.
I know you don't. I do. Largent was a horse is a horse for Todd Fletcher that I was really looking forward to this year. It appears now that it's hard to keep him on a racetrack because you see him disappearing.
We're going to talk about Largent in a bit.
Okay.
As I said, 3 times.
This horse has come back from the break, breaking the rules, and he has just been flat out good.
He beat a Grade 1 winner 2 back.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, he did. So, I mean, he's come back. And I talked to Sugar about this horse on radio about a month back, what he was going to do next. And it would be pretty appropriate if Sugar won the Lure.
I wonder if he's ever won the Lure.
I don't think he has, because I think that's why we're talking about it. I mean, this horse has just been really, really. He went to the sidelines with an issue. He's come back. He went to the sidelines with the looks of a good horse. He's come back better than ever. I mean, he's really, really nice. And Shug, as is his wont, bringing him along kind of slowly. And you would imagine after this, maybe a race like the Shadwell's in mind. I don't know.
Does he stick around and run in this race? The Knickerbocker. We'll look at last year's Knickerbocker when Olympico ran a good second to LeCohen. And he's not a horse that just needs a soft turf, but he is a horse that's going to be pace compromised in here. An interesting subplot to this, Michael Dubb, the part owner, saying this the other day. Michael's third right now. Mike Rapoli is 3 behind Carvage Stable and technically still in the running, as is Michael Dubb. But if he doesn't finish at least second this year, Mike Dubb, I think it'll be the first year in well over a decade. I was hoping that Mike would actually text me and give me the exact number, but I know that it's been at least 10 years that Mike Dubb has been 1 and 2. I know people say, oh, Mike Dubb runs a lot of horses. Okay, but finishing first or second in the owner's title for more than a decade in Saratoga, where a lot of people come up here and try to win. You think of some of the years Ken Ramsey had up here, Mike Rapoli as well, and obviously Korovich is positioned to win their 3rd straight titles. You know, it's not easy, and Mike Dubb is always in the hunt, and he's still in the hunt right now, but we'll see. Records are made to be broken, but still, that's an impressive performance, and we'll see how that plays out.
He gets a pair of blinkers today, too.
I think he's going to run okay, this horse. I actually do. The problem with the race is Largent. We'll take a look at Largent winning. This is down at Gulfstream. I mean, he won about as fake a race last time as has ever existed, a 4-horse field.
Beat a 3-year-old.
What's that?
He beat a 3-year-old.
Right. And it just
wasn't.
wasn't.
Bolden came back and ran here on the
he beat Temple. He beat Tribhuvan, who beat Ballarocks the last time they met, a Chad Brown horse. In fact, you'll see him come in the picture right now, the number 12. That's Tribhuvan. He's going to be the controlling speed with Luis Saez. I feel like I've seen this movie before. And
called Halliday.
It's not just Halliday.
Well,
I mean, it was the two. It was how about the horses? The horse that won Rinaldi. How about Luis Saez just goes? He goes and they grab.
Louis and Todd together. That's why I said Halliday. Yeah.
Oh, I see. But
I mean, yeah.
He goes and they grab.
And the problem is the problem is on paper the other 3 save breaking the rules. I mean, and even breaking the rules to an extent, they're just not quick enough to stay within earshot of this horse early, unless they are aggressively ridden. I mean, Ballarocks used to be a little quicker than he is now, but I mean, is he going to be able? This horse is,
he's
pretty
loose.
Fast.
He's loose. I just don't think he's good enough. I know we've seen horses that aren't good enough to win, and this race is on the melon, not on the inner. We'll see.
I feel like
you got to use them, but
I feel like breaking the rules is talented enough to overcome the pace advantage.
I do not disagree. That's the first 8. The mandatory payout in the Empire 6 when we return from a quick break from our wonderful sponsor at Saratoga Water.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to the final Talking Horses of the Saratoga meet. He's Anthony Stabile. I'm Andy Serling. The mandatory payout in the Empire 6, 588,000 and change.
58?
What is it? 500 and
I thought it was 558.
558?
I could be wrong. I was wrong yesterday by like
777.
Yeah.
Giving it away, races 9 through 14. Not an easy sequence. I'll be putting up a losing ticket on Saratoga Live later today.
Such an optimist, Andy.
Well,
Such an optimist.
I tell you what, Anthony. If this were a regular Pick 6, I'd say $5,000. So that's $500 at 20 cents a ticket. I'm happy to bet you as many lunches as you want that you can't hit this thing for $500 today.
It's funny. I have a $460 ticket.
Yeah. Okay.
And you're right. And I'm putting it in because I believe the pool's going to be big. And
Yeah. No, I get it.
I don't disagree.
It's a very, very, very difficult sequence. Now, one thing that may help in race number 9 is that apparently the number 3 Speaker's Corner is the second coming of Hindu. Speaker's Corner, who's 8-5 morning line, the Bill Mott, nice-looking Bill Mott, firster that won, was that yesterday or 2 days ago?
Thought it was early yesterday.
It was early yesterday, that inside horse, the Godolphin horse.
Jane.
Apparently this horse outworked that horse by about 50 lengths.
Oh.
Like 15 lengths or something. From the gate. That 40.
I did not know any of this.
Yeah. This horse buried that horse out of the gate. This horse is going to be an overwhelming favorite. You've got on top. I've put second.
When I see the Bill Mott horses work that fast.
When you see any Bill Mott horse, you start
hold on.
and
Bill's
salivating.
MO is not to work horses these fast. When they're working this fast, they're doing it on their own. Unlike some other trainers. But when you see horses from guys like Bill Mott, Christophe Clement, Chad Brown, when they're working this fast, they're doing it on their own.
No, you're not wrong.
So I see that, and yes, I'm going. And I do love picking my Bill Mott horses.
You do.
I went right to this horse.
Bill's had a lot of seconds to meet, but he's also had some winners recently. He's had a good meet. He's at 12, I believe. I can't resist horses with experience that I think are interesting. And Team Merchants took money first time out.
Had a dip on this horse first time
That's
out.
right.
Nyquist.
This horse comes out of that very good reinvestment risk. We saw Olympiada finish third, have a nice win for Bill Mott, and we're an 80-plus buyer the other day. Outlier may have been the one they were betting in that entry. I don't know. And it seemed like the 8 Outlier was at a real kickback issue last time out. I'm not big on that, but he was throwing his head up a little bit. But Team Merchants actually ran okay in there. He was 4 wide. He made a real run around the turn. And I think Team Merchants might be okay. Now, in all likelihood, we're looking at a race may have a good firster. And, also you've got Savoy in here also, who may be a runner as well.
I heard Demon could run a little bit as well, the number 4.
Demon.
Todd Fletcher.
There you go. It's closing day. You've got it into Mischief. It's okay turf and dirt, nothing special on the dam side in that horse. Speaker's Corner, Demon. I think a lot of people are going to have to lean on the number 3 Speaker's Corner. I'm going to use 3 and 6 to try to just keep it small for the ticket I put up. We'll see. Anything else?
I just went to the firsters.
Yes, you did. Race number 10. So number 10, Binkster coming out changes it a lot. And I'll tell you the horse it's going to help. It's going to help Maximiliano. Right?
It should.
Because you've got to deal with ink splots towards the front end. But I thought Maximiliano was very interesting, a horse that I have third and might have put second. You've got the 9, the big S on top.
I do. For my arch nemesis, Ray Handel. This is a horse.
You scratched the favorite, but running this one.
This is the horse Ray has been very high on since early on. If you go through his career, runs into nitrous first time out a couple of summers ago, breaks his maiden first time, second time out, first time back at Tampa, and then catches a muddy track.
He threw him to wolves.
He runs them in the stakes. He runs them in the Amsterdam. He runs them in the Jerkins. He puts them on the turf, and he runs in the slop. In all honesty, this horse is getting back to a fast track for the first time in a race he can win. I know they've been high on this horse. They get Joel Rosario back. The blinkers go back on. He's drawn outside in here. I'm all about the big Stabile, the big S.
I can't argue with any of that. I think you're right. I also think I can't argue with it. I mentioned Maximiliano. He's the kind of horse for Wesley Ward I like to use in these races. And by the way, Jose Ortiz is on him. Irad's on I'm a Pharaoh. We'll see how the battle goes. Tied, 39 days in the meet. They are tied at 57, both those guys.
I called every bookmaker I could last night. Nobody would give me the line on you picking Tikvin Flu today. Couldn't bet it.
Well,
it was barred from wagering.
How can I not pick Tikvin
I knew
Flu?
And he has a big chance.
Tikvin Flu is a horse. I'm going to say, if there was an Eclipse Award for the most mishandled horse in racing, this is a
there'd
horse.
be quite a few of them on that ballot, but he might be the winner.
He wins his first race going 7 furlongs with a 79 buyer. Then Manny took him off the gold rail and went wide, and he finished third to Heichel, who came back and won the Gotham in his next start. Okay, I understand having delusions of grandeur and wanting to head to Triple Crown race. They ran him at routes. What about his races in his career suggested that he's a better horse going long on the dirt? They tried the turf. They basically tried every single thing you could except running him in the kind of races he wants to be in, shorter one-turn races. And the one time he ran a mile one-turn at Churchill, he got a sloppy track that he couldn't handle.
If I didn't know better, Jeff Bloom
Was torturing me?
Yes. Exactly
Actually,
right.
from what I understand, because he had a part owner that I'm friendly with, said they wanted to run him shorter. But he was not entered in shorter races. Now he is off the claim for a guy whose horses are running off the claim.
Yep.
I know it's a tough spot. I'll give you another horse I think is a little interesting at price, Cucina. Has it occurred to you that maybe Bill Mott was running Cucina on the wrong surface all this time? This horse ran a 75 buyer, sloppy track or not, in his second career start in the dirt. Last time out in the Yalpon race in Blinkster, I mean, he didn't run that badly in finishing fourth. Got an 85 buyer. Maybe he just should have been on the dirt all. And this is one of the problems with running as many turf races we do. People are turning dirt horses into turf horses.
Because there's more opportunities.
Because there's more opportunities. In reality, they should be running on the dirt.
I don't disagree with that.
I thought he was a little interesting.
Okay.
I'm going to use 2, 3, 5, and 9 in here.
You're just trying to get on Bill's good side, I think.
By saying he's been running on the horse on the wrong surface. Listen.
You did the right thing today, Bill, and put him on the dirt, so Andy's going to give you a little love with Cucina. Very self-serving.
No, I'm putting guys with the wrong thing for way too long, but I'll blame Mark Cassie for that because he started it and Bill just was finishing it. Race number 11 seems like a tricky race. What did you do?
I went to Orlando Noda.
You got to be kidding me.
No.
This horse has
Did you
no
see this horse
chance.
run last time?
Yeah, he walked in the front end and won for a trainer who's had incredible meat. I mean, I don't know how he's going to possibly win here. How's he going to win here? Really?
Well,
you like this horse?
Yeah.
He's 7-2 morning line?
Yeah.
I like the book about $200 million on him.
Wow. So you could do it too.
I know it's Orlando
I know you
Noda,
have a backer.
and these Noda horses, they never seem to lose. But how this horse could possibly win this race, I have no idea.
Well, I think it's a combination of riding the hot barn, and let's be honest here. He caught kind of. This is not the hardest starter he's ever going to face.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think this is a very
Really?
interesting race. Yeah, I don't like this horse at all. But if he wins, listen.
I
thought he was
don't know.
15-1 morning line. I was going to give the old, I can't knock your pick. He's 15-1. But if David's right and he's the favorite in here,
I didn't know
he
the
might be the
line,
worst
but-
favorite in the history of horse racing.
I
know it's the Nodas, and as I've said, you want to get in the way of a freight train, do what I'm doing and say Noda can't win because they just seem to win, and so maybe he'll win. But
he's not fast enough to be in front, but I mean, you got to figure
enough.
He's going to get a good trip.
No, I don't
He'll
think he has
probably
a
be
prayer.
laying third or fourth in here.
Listen, like I said, the Noda horses run better than their PPs sometimes. I don't see their PPs.
But hold on, but Andy, his last race puts him right there.
It's a totally phonied up race because of ridiculously slow pace at a mile and 3/8. Mile and 3/8 are totally different than these races. We just disagree.
Yeah.
We could argue about it for the rest of the time. I mean, you've even got the Wesley Ward horse second, who I don't particularly like either. We've had him fourth. I like the outside horses, the 8 and 10 in here. We'll take a look at Alley Oop Johnny. I mean, is it possible? Alley Oop Johnny survived a pace that basically fell apart. The other speed finished 11th in there. I just think he was running against better horses in Mandate and Road to Meath. I mean, I thought this horse ran extremely well first time for Bruce Brown last time, and he's going to be forward with Dylan. Dylan's just supposed to go to the lead on him. I like him and Scano. I figure Scano will be forward with Luis Saez. Tommy Albertrine's been winning with horses off of maiden wins in the turf. I want Alley-Oop Johnny and Scano. If anybody else wins, I lose.
Okay.
We just saw this race completely differently.
Yeah, we did.
I thought Wild Bankers, was a little interesting too with Mike Dean. I thought he ran okay last time out, but I don't know if he's good enough to win here, but it doesn't hurt to get Joel.
Yeah, never hurts to get Joel.
I see this race completely differently than you. And if Mystery Bank wins, it'll be the cherry on top of my meat. Race number 12, the one ever dangerous, is out. Race number 12, let's look at Lonesome Fugitive, finishing second to Don Juan Kitten, who took a brutal beat in the Saranac. I think he's way the horse to beat, don't you?
Yeah.
Pick him on top?
I did. And he will be the single in my Empire 6 ticket. Yep.
I am not singling him. I'm using both Chad Brown runners in this race.
Okay.
But I don't disagree. He's a potential single.
I felt like to keep the. I'm certainly not going to invest $920. So
do you worry his running style is going to be compromised by this surface?
A little bit. I like the blinkers coming on to maybe get him a little quicker.
He's not going to be quick enough to be close. And do you worry that Proven Strategies with Luis Saez is going to do what he needs to do to win races, which is go to the front in here?
Yeah, I am.
I'm not Proven Strategies' biggest fan, but he's got fast races, and he is going to be in front. And if I use 3, I'll use him. I'm worried about him wiring the field. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
How are you not worried about an inner turf race with Luis Saez that's got speed going to the lead and wiring a field? How are you not worried about that?
I'll tell you the horse that I almost put second here I think Miaminoy is very interesting.
Who?
Here. Miaminoy, the 1A.
I am annoyed.
Miaminoy.
I am annoyed. Okay. Yeah, no, that horse is not impossible for Gargan.
Debuted against Structor 4 months back, wins at Aqueduct, goes down, gets beat less than a length to field pass. Then they try him in the Jeff Ruby Stakes on the all-weather at Turfway. Back to the surface he belongs on. I think he's very.
Did be just in time for wine when he broke his maiden. I do want to point that out.
No,
but
listen, I know.
His race in the Dania Beach was okay. He broke a length slow that day and took him back. He was inside, but he was 3 to 4 wide in the second turn. I don't disagree. No,
he's the interesting one. I almost put him second.
He's not impossible. I think he was my infamous 5th pick. I do not disagree with you at all. Let's talk about succeed and surpass for a moment here. We've done a good job. We have some time here.
Blinkers come off after this. Was this the last effort?
I worry that, in general, you saw that Pixelate went out to California, won the Del Mar Derby. I did not take the $5 on him, even after Jay Privman agreed with me that he was the horse to beat in there. I just checked to make sure. He's my source in California. One thing I'll say about this, he has very good numbers and transfer. A lot of them are Europeans. By the way, that picture, Graham, I think he just got out of prep school. I think that's his graduation day photo from prep school.
We gotta get Chelsea on this case.
Yeah, we really
Something's
do.
Gotta get
really
done.
have to.
Yeah. This horse is a little interesting. Couple of races against Malforza last year.
Horse is a nice horse. He ran second to Malforza in the Twilight Derby. This horse is okay. I wouldn't be dismissive of this horse. I think he's dangerous in here.
You and I have talked about Lonesome Fugitive in the past. So I think Lonesome Fugitive is the horse that can come up with a little bit of a breakthrough performance in here and kind of get on the stakes track. I think we're both. I know I'm a big fan of this horse.
I like Basquiat because Basquiat's going to be a big price in here because they're going to bet on Lonesome Fugitive, who's the horse to beat, no argument. But I think that Basquiat's very dangerous in here. Okay. Basquiat has talent. And I also think there's an argument that Basquiat spent a lot of time on a dead rail last time. So I think his last race is not nearly as bad as it looks. And his other 2 races are just fine. He's got half the durable goods, who was a turf winner. Klarovich had an American Pharaoh. He was good enough on the dirt that they wanted to give him a shot. I think he's now going to be running on the surface he was supposed to be on from day one. And I think he's going to be kind of a forgotten horse in here. And I'll tell you something else about him. He can be forward. He's got the speed to be close. So I think Joel would be, and Chad would be very wise. I don't think they're going to be in front of Proven Strategies, but I think this horse could be right behind him.
I was going to mention that if this horse takes to the turf, I would think he would be forwardly placed.
I think they should go to the lead, and if the other horse really wants it, make him work for it. But the only other horse with speed here is the Great Dansky, and we'll see what he does in the turf. But I see Basquiat as forward in this race, and I think that's going to serve him well.
The Great Dansky and Basquiat are kind of in the same boat here, right? If they can turf.
But one of them has a big turf pedigree.
Right. No, I understand. I understand what I'm saying.
One of them is a much better horse.
Right. But the other one is a little faster.
It doesn't matter. I think Basquiat's going to get missed on the board, and I haven't given up because I think he's a very talented dirt horse.
Okay.
A very talented horse that may have been running on the wrong surface.
The only thing I'll say about him on a knock, which and I think if Lonesome Fugitive doesn't have the breakthrough, I think 3 or 4 horses go in the race. I don't know how far he wants to go, but we'll see what happens on the turf.
A mile race, Anthony. They're not
going
going 6 miles.
I don't know how far he wants to go.
Well, I don't know. He won 7 furlongs in the dirt in his first start.
I don't know how far he wants
Anthony,
to go.
you know what would help you as a handicapper to stop asking yourself questions that are irrelevant. He definitely doesn't want to go a mile
Distance
and a half.
isn't irrelevant.
He definitely does not look like a mile and a half horse. But what about him suggests that the distance is a problem?
I don't know. He kind of levels out at the end of his race. I know you said he was on a dead rail last time, but he just kind of
He was on a dead rail last time, and also maybe on the wrong surface.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. I would have...
He finished behind Mystic Guide and Country Grammar, who won stake races in subsequent starts.
Yeah, he was chasing. I get the whole thing.
And he was chasing Tapit to win. Whatever. A mile on the turf is too far. I'm going to tell you right now, he's not going to lose this race because a mile on the turf was too far for him. He might lose this race for 800 different reasons.
Okay.
But after the race going, if it was 7.5, they could run those 7.5s. That's my favorite thing, by the way. That at Gulfstream, they run mile and 7.5 furlong turf races, and with the run-up, they're basically exactly the same distance, and people think they're different distances.
Can we talk about the Run Happy Hopeful, please?
You don't want to get me on that tangent of the 7.5 and mile races at Gulfstream?
I want to stop it before
I go out of my
mind. Before they pull the plug on us. We got to get through 2 more races,
The Run Happy Hopeful.
We're almost home.
Is a terrific closing feature, the last grade 1 of our meet. Jackie's Warrior is good. We'll take a look at Jackie's Warriors winning the Saratoga Special. This horse just absolutely ran this field off their feet. Are you worried at all, the ride of a lifetime? I know he was stretching out to a mile, but he was very disappointing in the Iroquois over the weekend.
Yeah, I didn't pick this horse today.
I didn't ask if you picked him or not. Are you concerned?
Yes,
you could pick him 8th. You could.
I am. Of course I'm concerned. Because the ride of a lifetime, really, I don't think it would have mattered if it was 6, 7, a mile. He just wasn't good on Saturday.
Yeah. Now that doesn't mean that Jackie's Warrior is not good.
Correct.
But that concerns me, because it's worth discussing going forward.
Yeah, no question.
This horse is good. I'm not going to deny it, and he's going to come flying out. But he's got to get 7, and he's going to face a rival that isn't quite the rival he faced last time.
No, he's going to face a serious racehorse. I mean, if you want to look back at the 2-year-old efforts of the meet, I don't know how you look past this.
Yeah, I agree. We'll take a look at Reinvestment's maiden win, and he was tremendous in there. He really was. And we've seen Olympiad, who finished 3rd, come back and win. I think another horse out of that race run well? I can't remember. Maybe not. This was some performance.
Yes.
This is a serious horse. Now, listen, he's running against Jackie's Warrior, who's more experienced and has a stakes win. But I think the sky's the limit with this horse.
Doing everything right here. Just doing everything right. Big eye test horse for me.
Ooh, the eye
big
test.
One. I haven't broken it out a lot this meet. This horse was, we texted.
You know, he was fast, too.
He's a good horse. This is a good horse.
This is a real matchup.
Yeah.
These 2 horses. The series horse. What do you do with how do you pronounce it? Mutasabek?
Mutasabek. Mutasabek.
Ask the same question I asked about Jackie's Warrior. This horse beat a filly in this race.
Who didn't run
a step in the spinaway.
Nope.
That has to concern you a little bit, right?
Had a great setup yesterday, too. Kind of moved out at the 3/8 pole. Looked like she was in a fire, and she went the wrong way. Yeah, it absolutely concerns me. Absolutely concerns me. To the point where, after her performance yesterday, I almost flipped them around and put Jackie's Warrior 2nd. You know what, though? This horse was tactical enough last time where if Jackie's Warrior starts to come back, going to be moving with reinvestment risk.
Reinvestment is going to be in front of this horse.
I would assume he is. I would assume he's going to be. It was, I know, and I say this a lot when it comes to the 2-year-olds. I don't think you worry as much now about who they're beating as opposed to how they're doing it. Especially,
I like how fast they're going. I'm big on how fast they're going.
especially now because it's a little harder to discern class with the 2-year-olds. We don't have allowance races anymore. It's maiden races, right to stakes races, for the most part, this time of year. So
I have a question about
he
Jackie's,
just did it the right way.
Jackie's Warrior.
Yeah,
Would he be the first Grade 1 winner from McLean's Music?
Not trained by Chad Brown?
Not owned by Clarvich
Or
Stable
owned by
or trained
Clarvich
by,
Stable?
trained by Chad Brown?
yeah.
Complexity and
Cloud computing.
Cloud computing. And also the only one that doesn't have his name start with a C. So that could disqualify him completely.
I lost a trivia question. I lost a. I swung a miss on this the other night. I didn't remember that Steve trained McLean's Music. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I forgot that.
Yeah, he won in California for Steve.
I forgot
He had a
that.
114 buyer in his debut.
That
and he
I
never ran
remember
again.
it was 114 buyer, and I remember it was California. I think that's why it kind of
And he's Forest Music.
kind of it was like it just didn't make sense to say Steve because of
You
California.
remember his dam, Forest Music? She debuted at Laurel for Michael Gill. And I think Mark Schumann.
Wow.
She won by like 17 lengths or something and ran a giant buyer figure at 6 furlongs. Giant number. And they brought her out in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile in California 16 or 17 days later and ran her against Half Bridle. And she was only 6-1.
The half bridle. I
She made the
remember this
lead.
now.
She finished last.
Yep.
But she did win the honorable miss, first time for Steve Asmussen in Stone Street. Anyhow, Stone Street, of course, owned McLean's Music at that time. Race number 14. Race number 14.
This
the
is it.
final race of the Saratoga meeting. Is it Star? How do you pronounce this again?
I have no idea.
Stardesis?
You're asking me how they pronounce it.
Well, you're the track announcer here.
On the set.
You're the track announcer
upstairs.
right
Yes.
here, right now. among
I
the
do
two
not
of
know
us.
how to say this horse's name.
I got to tell you one thing about this horse. This
I
horse
should
is
figure
slow.
that out.
This horse is slow.
this horse hasn't been very good. I don't disagree with that.
This horse is slow.
I don't disagree with
Jorge
that.
Abreu has had a sensational meet.
Yeah, you're just hoping the run for Jorge continues. He's dropping in for a tag for the first time.
Let me ask you a question. How many of the wins that Jorge Abreu has are horses that were in Chad Brown's barn that he gave to him? I know 2 for My Heart Belongs to Daddy and the one yesterday, Price Talk. All Chad Brown
I
horses.
think there's one more.
Yeah. Chad has been very helpful to Jorge, who was a tremendous assistant to him. And
Well, listen, when Chad Brown wins races and when Chad Brown wins Eclipse Awards, you hear him talk about the team.
Right.
It's very, very important to him. And Jorge was a member of the team for a long time. And you want to help the people that have helped you get to
I remember
the
when he
place
left, Chad
you
said to
get.
me, basically, I begged him to stay. I gave him all the reasons he doesn't want to leave.
They have a great relationship.
Yep.
It's good to see people
Yeah.
in this game have the
No
relationship
question
that
about
they
it.
have.
No question about it. Listen, I've got this horse second. I get
No
it.
loyalty. You just have no loyalty.
I get it.
Remember who picked this one. Remember who picked this one.
There was a recent conversation about your loyalty, and the question was what was done to get it, and I said winning a lot of races. Vicarage, the 3, is another horse. You've got second.
I took the
This
two
horse
drop
was
downs.
That's funny about this horse. This horse was 7-5. You couldn't wait, guys. This horse was 7-5 in his debut on the turf. He doesn't really have a turf pedigree.
No.
The Dagliandoro and a Malibu Moon Dam. There was second twice in the turf and did handle it and run fairly well, but she produced 2 foals that didn't win the turf. I don't know. They're going back to the turf. Maybe she'll do well. There isn't that much. I mean, Bold Gem, who I scratched into 4th, is probably the horse to beat in here, but you really trust this horse to win in the start number 13?
No. Always would lie. I would love to see my friend Leah run out of here with a win. Leah Giamatti.
What about Seize the Hay on the outside
Barring
getting in
it.
the
Yeah,
13?
that draws in, as Andy told you, gave you the scratches earlier. Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, Andy. He dropped in for a tag last time. He had the rail
He was
on the inner
terrible.
turf. He was awful.
He was terrible.
He was bad.
But in this field, he belongs, but he's got an outside post, and you're right. He had a perfect trip last time and literally did 0 running.
You imagine if it's tied going into the end, and the Rad goes from riding John Want Revenge to Seize the Hay.
I thought maybe you were saying that Chad Brown would win 5 races and somehow they would be tied and Todd wouldn't, and Jorge Abreu would win with a horse that was in Chad Brown's barn before.
That would be unbelievable,
or one behind. I picked Majestic because I went through just what we went through and said, no. And I thought, is there a stranger in here? And there is a stranger.
Sure.
And it's Majestic. For what it's worth, year plus laughs and turf routes, George Weaver's over 5. But 3 did hit the board, I believe. No, 2 hit the board. 3 of them were short. 0 for 2 with maidens. This horse was bet first time out. Ran against a reasonable field, got a 73 buyer. I know that George Weaver has not had anything close to the kind of meets he's had in the past at Saratoga. That still doesn't mean he doesn't have some dangerous bullets in his barn.
Of course.
I thought this horse might be kind of interesting. So I went for the wise guy route.
Okay.
Day number 40. Jose Ortiz and
Irad
Ortiz are tied at 57. We wish both of them the best of luck. It's been some great riding here. What was your favorite race of the meet?
Favorite race of the meet? I'm going to go unselfish here. And I'm going to say Rushing Fall winning the Diana.
Yeah.
For my buddy Bob Edward.
That was a great race.
Just to, I think a lot of people.
That was a great race.
She's been such a sensational race mare, filly and mare, the last
Grade 1's 4
years.
straight years.
Grade 1 4 straight years. And I think she has that moniker of being a Keeneland horse. And I think that now finally, a lot of people feel that way. Oh, she's so good at Keeneland.
A lot of people, 3?
Yeah, no, plenty of people. You see a lot of knuckleheads on social media. That was probably
you do.
That was my.
I
do.
have them all muted.
You have them all
blocked.
muted and blocked. That was the moment of the meet for me. Although I could tell you that Latruska was a very nice.
Who was Latruska again?
Shuvie last week.
Oh yeah, that was a great effort. You know what? For me, maybe Tom Amos and that tremendous performance by Serengeti Empress was a highlight, and seeing Tom win that Grade 1
Unhappy Travers
was thrilling.
There were a ton of them. You guys had a nice little top 10 yesterday on Saratoga Live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rushing Fall for me, though.
A lot of credit goes to a lot of hardworking people in the New York Racing Association, not named Andy Serling or my friend Anthony Stabile, particularly Glenn Kozak and the people he works with, and keeping this place and being able to open for the meet. Let's be honest, it was always a question whether we could come, and a lot of dedication and hard work from a lot of people, and I think there's a lot of them to thank. And the people on the backstretch and all the people that made the racing go here.
We really have the easy jobs.
We have the easiest job in the world.
Yeah, we have the greatest job in the world, the easiest job in the world. Obviously, this was a little bit of a different meet. We missed all of you from pillar to post.
Yep.
Hopefully, next year can walk in here. My buddy Colton will be waiting by the Jocks room. Colton's birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday.
Our friend Johnny, who's been a loyal friend, who's here every day, and everybody that comes around. We miss you.
Yeah,
when we
Johnny
leave the
Mac,
studio.
everybody.
Yep.
Miss all you guys down here.
We're reduced to making fun of Martin Panza. We want to make fun of other people.
He is.
We want to make fun of others. We won't just want to make fun of Martin every day. That's
Thanks to Jose Kendrick Ortiz for coming out yesterday to let us make fun of him.
Yeah.
Cheers,
thanks
my friend.
everybody. Thanks. It was
Great
a fun
job.
meet. We appreciate everybody, and we are sorry that you could not join us at Saratoga, but we hope that situation is better by next summer.
And thank you, of course, to Adam and everybody over at Saratoga Water for being a fantastic sponsor of Talking Horses here at the spa.
I agree with that. It's been a fun meet. It's been a strange meet, but it's been a fun meet, and as John Kakamise's shirt says, the dude abides.
The dude abides.
Head over to Naira Bets one last time. It's the last time at Saratoga. We'll be back, by the way, on Friday, September 18th at Belmont to start doing it all over again. We will match up $200 of your initial deposit. Use the promo code SPA. Head over to Naira Bets. You're not a member. Support racing in New York. Play through Naira Bets. The mandatory payout, the Empire 6, $558,777. Races 9 through 14 on the Extravaganza today. And finally, the last Saratoga Live of 2020. Go to Naira.com/Saratoga Live for more details of where to watch. Anthony, thank you so much. Johnny, our cameraman, thanks to him for being here every day. And everybody. And the guys in the truck who put up with us and do all the work behind the scenes and getting those replays up and all the other stuff.
Steve.
40 Days of Steve.
40 Days of Steve.
40 Days of John and Brielle.
Tom Law did a great job as well.
Tom Law. Yep, we appreciate everybody. We missed Joe Clancy, though. We did. Anyway, John and Brielle, the reprise. Not a reprise. The first time. The official scratches for the Saratoga closing day right now.
Hello, racing fans, and once again, welcome to Saratoga on this closing day 2020. And the sun has broken through, so it's a